when you're listening to people, that means you don't have a predispositioned answer. When you're not, you do. And I had the answers, bro. I don't have the answers because I don't know what you're going to say.
Sure.
And you could say something completely different than I think you're going to say, which means I have to give you an answer based on what you said. That's a whole different beast.
If you're a new agent listening to this and if you think that that's like some sort of a ploy, that's a fact. We have so many people looking for coverage. We actually can't keep up with the requests.
100%. I think serve the people can't be understated because the truth is when you're working with people against their will, you have to be empathetic to the things they're going through or you lose them. Mm-hmm. The only way to do that is selflessness, and the only way to do that is service. Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tristate Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tristate or FFL Tristate. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country. All right, man. We're getting started here. I'm excited, man. Everybody, thank you for jumping on our Training Day podcast. We are excited as ever. The very first podcast in our brand new, finalized, finished studio. We have no other than Joe Basso, executive board member of Family First Life 320 Life Solutions, CEO of that organization, running that with his two partners and crushing it. Had an amazing 2022 and is off to an amazing 2023. We're headed into convention now and excited about what's to come. But we have a little bit of a twist today.
We sure do, dude. I remember about a month ago, I was like, Mark, you're always doing the interviewing, and you should be the interviewee for a change. And you were like, all right, dude, I guess, which that makes Mark. You're so humble. But, dude, you don't get the recognition sometimes that you deserve, bro. Like, what a year Tri-State had in 2022. It's unbelievable to see the growth. You guys did a full-on more than double from 20, which at Tri-State size is remarkable. So congratulations to you and the team. And then you guys have this office. Oh my goodness. This is my first time seeing this place all done.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations. It's absolutely spectacular. And to be the first I feel honored to be the first one in this room with you.
Well, first off, thank you. And obviously we can't do this without a great team. We have great people great leaders like yourself, but great leaders all across the country. And dude, it is amazing to have a real podcast studio.
Yeah.
We've wanted one forever. We've always had a place to record the podcast, but to have something finalized, finished, and soundproof that feels like this just makes this awesome.
Well, dude, let's just dive right in. So I guess let's start with this. We just talked about it. More than a double in 2022. What led to that success? Kind of break it down from your perspective.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. A lot of things went into that, man, and it didn't start in 2022. It started probably in 2020, but it really materialized in 2021.
Okay.
Finding the right leaders. It really is a game of leaders. And what I've learned through 11 years doing this is it's a game of how you treat people. Big time.
Wow.
More than anything. I can't put enough emphasis on, some of the values that we have. We have this, our vision values. And we don't, kind of enforce it on the agency, but we do use it internal with the staff. And it's lights, camera, execute. And that stands for love.
Okay.
So we believe love is the number one thing that can go forth and bring a return.
Okay.
2, integrity. Obviously, that speaks for itself. Gratitude, which is G, and just living our lives from a place of gratitude. The fourth one is happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can be happy or miserable. You can be happy and strong or miserable. The amount of work is the exact same.
Wow.
You know, teamwork, which is the T, and we believe like no man or woman is bigger than anyone on the team. And then service, which is the S, so that makes the lights. And service is my love language, acts of service, plus my background. I went to school for hospitality and culinary arts, so I've always been a service guy. I've always worked in service industries. I really do believe in that. And then we have a little bit of a break. It's camera, because we needed to tie execution together. So it was lights, camera, execute. And execution is like, dude, you can have the lights, you can have the love, the integrity, the gratitude, the happiness, the teamwork, the service, which brings that feel.
Yep.
But if you don't execute, bro, it's just a country club.
That's strong, bro.
And I believe if you have all the execution and none of the lights, it's just it's just a real hardcore place to work, and there's not a lot of smiling. So we try to bring together the two, but we do it internally to bleed out. So we are working basically from the inside out. You know, we believe it and practice it internally so we can bleed out. And when we set those in September of 2020, we were at a point where we had just did our deal 6 months prior, the year of COVID. So it was a lot of flux in and out of the office. But, you know, the goal was we need something different, man. You know, we've led with the sword. We've led with the fist. We've led from the hill. You know, we've led from the horse riding, like the night stallion. And it's great. It's fun. If I reminisce, I get excited. But it doesn't take you as far as love does.
That's incredible. Or
empathy or gratitude or service. It doesn't. So, I got with the Lord and really went through, why am I here again? And I was like, all right, well, this isn't all it. There's definitely more. And I think that started to set the tone. I mean, so in 2021, we exuded that in a way we've never done before as an agency or a company to our people, our agents, which might have felt weird if you were around a long time, but you know, once it is what it is what it is. Like you're like either you're good with it or you're not. But even, you know, everybody just started to feel that, and it created such an atmosphere it created an expectation and an atmosphere for growth and people being embraced. The best way for growth is for people to feel embraced. Support people who are loved and supported. In love, we talk about that vision value talks about loving one another's strengths and securing someone's weaknesses. When people feel like you emphasize their strengths and you support and secure their weaknesses, bro, that's a different feeling that you don't get a lot of places. And we really do believe that. So we're not perfect, but we know that through the Bible and through, you know, what I know from my faith, that has worked for eons. I don't need to reinvent that wheel. I didn't make this up. This is stuff that I've been taught, stuff that I've read, and stuff that has, you know, existed for thousands of years. So that changed everything for us. And 2021, I think we were able to find the right leaders. Again, guys like you who emerged and, you know, you had all the things that we look for in an agent, right? There's 3 things we look for in an agent that really, you know, solidifies what we believe could create explosive growth. Number 1 is gratitude and appreciation. If you have the gratitude and appreciation, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
Sure.
Number 2 is work ethic, right? If you have the work ethic, it's going to show forth. And number 3 is intelligence. And if I go even further, is business intelligence, like business acumen. If someone has those 3 things, you find a lot of guys who are workers with business acumen who don't appreciate anything.
Yep.
And they're going to be good for your organization. You're not going to have a lot of interchanging because they don't need you and they don't really appreciate what you're doing, doesn't make them bad people. They're smart. They know how to work. And get out the way. No problem. I'm good with y'all. I like y'all. Love y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's some people that have the gratitude and the work ethic, but don't have all the business acumen. And those people you're generally working with and trying to teach business acumen to. And then there's people who have the gratitude and the intelligence, but don't have the work ethic. And those are your cheerleaders. And those are the people that constantly, every time it's time to work, they're really smart. They're really appreciative, brother, but they don't put the work in. And when you find someone with the three like yourself, I always say load up, because that person can be a business partner for life. They appreciate, so the mutual appreciation, mutual work ethic, mutual business acumen, explosive growth.
Dude, that's so well said. I don't know that I've heard anybody break it down just like that, but that is spot on.
And all we did, Joe, was look. We didn't hunt those guys. We hunted everyone and paid attention and poured more into those men and women.
I love it.
Yeah. So 2021 was that. We went from, 23,000 families protected to 58,000 families protected, which was amazing because it's
huge growth.
It said, we're here and we can do this, And I talked to Sean at the end of 2021 on the way to our awards dinner in December. And I say, hey, man, I got a bunch of people coming in today for our awards dinner. What do you think should be part of my messaging? He goes, why don't we make this the year of Tristate? And when I think about that, I'm like, that was such a battery in my back, because we needed that endorsement 100%. Coming from the head man.
Yeah.
And when I announced that thing took on a life of its own.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
And then he shows up in our office on January 3rd. No, it was January 1st, the very first day of the year, where offices were quote unquote closed. Sean Mike comes to New Jersey. We shoot some podcasts, and he was here for a reason. And, we had, 400 people on a Zoom, and we were setting the pace. And a lot of people felt the charge in, let's make it the year of Tri-State. It wasn't just me, a lot of people. So a lot of people grew. I mean, we had the most growth we ever seen ever in 2022, because there were so many capable and people that were ready, to go and do it. And we had more people that did that. What took me 7 years to do, people were doing in their second year,
Which, looking in, obviously I was a part of Tri-State, watching 2021 and 2022. What was incredible to see this past year was the heat wasn't coming from one place.
Yeah, it was
coming from all over the place, which is the sign of a healthy, scaling organization, because you're able to replicate the same thought process, mindset, work ethic throughout the organization. So incredible to see that. And I think I'm not trying to, blow your head up.
I don't get blown up that either.
But what I think you've been able to do, and I've been able to admire and learn from and take from, you can still be a sales savage. You can still push people to do more, but also lead with love. And that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's real powerful.
Yeah, that was a delicate dance. That took me a long time to figure out. A long time. So if anyone learned it quick and we were able to teach it faster, praise God. Because that took me forever to figure out, which it shouldn't have, but it did. Now, when I learned how to do that, what I learned was the art of the question asking. Sure, I know how to ask questions.
Break that down.
Sure, I knew what questions to ask for 8, 9, 10 years.
Okay.
But asking the questions with genuine concern and genuine and waiting for the answer, right?
Okay.
I'm not only asking the questions that I know the answers to, which I still do, but did a lot more, because I'm basically trying to cut you to the path, which is like, okay, well then you didn't hear me, right? So I increased my listening skills. And the way I learned to increase my listening skills was the amount of times I got burned trying to just control a situation. Like, control is elusive, and it's just very elusive, and it's not the holy grail, right? But I used to believe it was. When you're listening to people, that means you don't have a predispositioned answer. When you're not, you do. And I used to, I had the answers, bro. I don't have the answers because I don't know what you're going to say.
Sure.
And you could say something completely different than I think you're going to say, which means I have to give you an answer based on what you said. That's a whole different beast. And I'm still trying to help you grow. Sure. I'm still trying to help your mindset, but I'm also very comfortable now where if we agree to disagree, it's okay.
Sure.
Like, it's not, I don't hate you. I'm not upset. I don't want you to be upset. I'm here to help. And I like this. I've done this my whole career. I walk up, door knock. I might, do I put my hands up? Because I'm not here. I don't want any problems. I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, with that approach of we're here to help, but we know how to help you, the people that want help get the help.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, dude, coming into this year, and you and I have talked about it a little bit, but for everybody listening, 2023 is going to be explosive. We got some incredible game plans.
Yeah.
What is it, if you could sum it up, what is the 2023 mantra?
Wow. The mantra. I don't know if I thought about that just yet. I think the 2023 mantra is the 2022 mantra. Serve the people. But I think if we serve the people on steroids, the 2023 mantra could be serve the people on steroids. Because here's where we're at in society. We have an economy right now that is, in a very bad state. You have people that have lost 25, 30, 40, 50% of their assets, their 401ks, their IRAs. You have people that are getting laid off from work because companies don't have the same bandwidth. See, in a frothy economy, everyone has more bandwidth. In an economy where you're losing money and you're losing resources, not everyone has the same amount of money to spend, so your gross domestic product or your GDP goes down, which brings down revenue in other companies, which makes them have to make decisions that they normally wouldn't want to make. And some cuts tend to happen. Well, in an economy like that, we have an answer. In the life insurance business, we have an answer for part-time work. We have an answer for full-time work. We've taken, Joe, I've seen you take plenty of people. You, Gabe, Caleb, your amazing team take plenty of people and help them go from zero belief to belief overflowing.
Oh, yeah.
From never being in sales to making a considerable income. From being in sales in a certain type of sale, making whatever you can scrap up, to transitioning into life insurance sales and making a killing. So we can teach that to anyone who's willing to work and anyone that's willing to take some guidance. And that's as simple as getting a license. So we had, close to 3,000 agents that issued business in 2022.
Okay.
That means that's 3,000 opportunities for us to talk to everyone of their warm market to see if they know anyone who'd be interested in making a little extra money on the side of what they're currently doing. Not only that, we're recruiting every day. And we're recruiting every day. That means we're bringing in more agents every single day. And every time we bring in an agent, we're talking to them about the ability to refer this opportunity to their warm market.
So let's break that down. Nuts and bolts, what does that look like? When are you talking to these new agents about that referral deal?
Immediately. Well, let me be more specific. So we'll bring them in. Our recruiters will recruit them, depending on what we're dealing with. Now, our average recruit time is, 5 to 7 calls. We believe in the model of quality over everything. Now, calls could be also messaging.
Sure.
So we're on LinkedIn, Instagram. We have Facebook ads coming in, and we do a ton of warm market.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of Facebook ads coming in, but we have some. LinkedIn and Instagram messaging, warm market. So if we bring somebody in, we will mention warm market. But before we go into asking for a list, we have them go through our agent orientation.
Okay.
On our agent orientation call, we're building rapport, different person, our agent success. Our agent growth strategist is on the call with them, and they're going through building rapport, building a relationship, asking them about their lead budget, where they're at, and letting them know that all the things that we offer and how we can help them achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve in our deal.
Are you guys putting new recruits, new agents into the agent orientation before or after they get licensed?
After.
So you need them to have skin in the game.
Correct.
Before
we
they're
will put
on
them through class.
Okay.
And we have an agent success advisor that is going to call them during class and help get them through class as they achieve different benchmarkers.
Makes sense.
And so we're encouraging them the way through class to help them understand what's on the other side.
Are y'all breadcrumbing the idea of referrals and warm market recruiting along the way, or is that kind of brought up the first time once they have a license in their hand?
It's brought. So this is a way of life. So it's brought up the whole time. There's a specific time where we do the ask, the official ask. It's right after the orientation.
Okay.
So the orientation sets up for a contracting call. Okay. And also it triggers for the recruiter to call back. Okay. So it's basically like, hey, Joe, how'd your, I heard great things about your orientation call. What were some of your big takeaways?
I like that.
And then it's like, hey, now I'm going to do the warm market. It's like, hey, so you may have, have heard this since I talked to you and since, our agent growth strategist talked to you about our ability to bring on people, because we have a lot of people joining us right now, but we have a ton of clients that have filled out forms and requests for coverage and leads, and we can't get to them all. We're having a very difficult time getting to them all, and all this influx came from some of this, the idea that mortality has been on the top of people's minds, and it's a real thing. So we can't get to them. We need your help. So who do you know that may be interested in making an extra $500 to $1,000 a week part-time on the side of what they're currently doing that you can refer to us? Who do you know?
That's strong.
Now,
how many names you looking for?
I'd love to get as many as I can get. And every time the steam seems to go down, I reinvigorate it with coal, because I want to get we recruited you. You know what your compensation rate is. You're excited about the opportunity. We have an agent orientation with you. You know more about us. We know more about you. You're excited. Nothing has happened yet. Your contract didn't take too long. You didn't get hung up on your first sale. Like, all these things deter your ability to refer, which makes no sense to me. But I'm not recruiting me all day long. I'm talking to people.
The average.
They come from everywhere, all
100%.
walks of life. I have no idea. Like, does that make sense?
100%.
So I'm just dealing with what I know. And I know when you're excited and when because we're not tricking you into anything. The people that you refer to us are going on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, we're going to help train them. We don't need, and you're offering them an opportunity to make extra money.
Correct.
So if you give me objections, I'm going to go, hey, Joe, there's people every day looking for extra money and you never know who they are. There's people right now that that are going to go get a job as a waitress or a waiter. There's people that right now that are applying to be bartenders to make extra money at night. There's people that right now that are looking to go work in retail. Macy's, Best Buy, Home Depot, right now. You don't know, but they've never been offered an opportunity to make a little extra money part-time doing what we do. You just got licensed to do it and you're excited, right? Okay, cool. I just need a few names that we can call and offer an opportunity to because we have more clients than we can help and I need some help. Would you be willing to help?
If you're a new agent listening to this and if you think that that's like some sort of a ploy, that's a fact. We have so many people looking for coverage, we actually can't keep up with the requests.
100%, 50 states. And now with telesales, Joe, we have the ability, I can sell from this studio and I can sell into 49 other states, including my state, including the depths of New Jersey that I'm not going to drive to. So our scalability to assist people today far out exceeds what we were able to do 3, 4, 5 years ago. And we were doing this then. So I can only imagine what the opportunities like for the people coming in now and what the next 2, 3 years could look like for somebody. You never know who's going to do it. Mm-hmm. You never know who really needs the opportunity. We have so many stories of people that we did a Your Story podcast with Colby Lamon.
What a guy.
Dude, his story of the way he was raised and what he was doing prior to this, like just kind of pillow to posting it, hoping for something to pop. And now he's, helping 350 families in a year in his first year.
I talked to him the other day. He's shooting for 500 families bare minimum. He wants to hit 400, I think he said by October this year.
It's crazy.
And he'll do it.
Of course he will. And the other thing is this. What if no one offered him the opportunity? What if he didn't make it on someone's list?
Correct.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me that a guy like that who was starving, able-bodied, ready to do it, doesn't receive a phone call. But you don't know. You go, you know how many people I know that are going to kill it, Joe? A lot. Do you know how many of them killed it? Not a lot. So the truth is,
not a lot.
is that you don't know who's going to kill it.
Of course.
You always think you know. But I think if I was going to rephrase the mantra for 2023, I think it's this warm market machine that needs to go forth with reckless abandon because people need us, not because we need them.
With that said, because I'm hearing multiple things, really. I'm hearing warm market recruiting is the most efficient way to grow your team. Mm-hmm. And you very clearly stated that you think that telesales gives us opportunities now that simply weren't there a few years ago.
No doubt about it.
So that's the blueprint for 23.
No doubt. And I think that, between those things and I think serve the people can't be understated because the truth is when you're working with people against their will, you have to be empathetic to the things they're going through or you lose them. Mm-hmm. The only way to do that is selflessness, and the only way to do that is service. That's why it takes a mantra, because there's a lot of alpha or strong men and women that can, get 10 to 15 people to flock with them. But getting 100 to 150 people to flock with you is not going to be your bravado or your swag. It's going to be how well you care for people. And that's, no matter what, that legacy is going forth. So whether people see it, don't see it in 6 months or a year, they're going to see it, and it just keeps people around and it brings people to you. So you're just in a position pretty much at all times when you're serving people when they don't even know they need to be served, if you're believing in people more than they're believing in themselves at some point, that's eventually going to scale and grow into big dividends. So I say that because people get frustrated very easily.
They do.
They get frustrated and want to flail their arm. I think of my daughter. It's like she can get frustrated in a minute, and I'm thinking like, yo, what happened? And it's just like the littlest thing. And obviously she's 7, so we're trying to teach her.
Of course.
But when I'm grown, I deal this with grown adults. It's not the same flailing of the arms, but it's the same flailing of the heart, the mind, and the attitude. So it's like
that's an interesting thought, right? Because really, with I have a 3.5-year-old, and my wife and I, Carmen, we were just talking about this the other day. Like he's going through, like his terrible 2s got delayed. He's got terrible 3s, and it's like he's an emotional roller coaster. He'll be excited and happy, and then 10 seconds later, like the world is ending, the sky is falling. So it's what you figure out with kids, and then also you start to see those patterns in certain adults. They can't control their emotions. And so it's the emotional instability that I think separates certain entrepreneurs, certain salespeople from sticking with it and breaking through those barriers.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said that better. And I think when you said the entrepreneur, I think that was the right one, because an entrepreneur is a professional firefighter.
Well said.
You're constantly putting out fires, and if you're always frustrated that there's a fire, then you're not gonna make it long as an entrepreneur. Now, sales is a variation of entrepreneurship. Because you have to believe in yourself. You're selling generally for yourself, especially in our business. You're a 1099 independent contractor, so that does dovetail. But you can't jump up and down, kick and scream every time someone doesn't pick up the phone, or every time you made, 150 dials and got 2 contacts.
Sure.
Or every time you made 150 dials and got 40 contacts and didn't make a set. Like, you've got to get better, and the easiest way to get better is to take it in and strategize on what you're doing wrong so that you can continue to improve. Everyone who does that, Joe, wins.
Amen. I agree. So, dude, in closing, what are some of the goals for 23?
It's a great question. I believe in 2023 that as an organization, we have so many awesome people, so many starving, awesome people that want more for their families and to help their agents. And I think that's what's driving it. You start to get some really good people, and you want to help your people. I think we have a lot of pay it forward mindset thinkers. So I think that we could do.
Put it out there, man. Put it out there. Let's go.
Is it 250,000 families? Is that what it is?
I think so.
250,000 families protected between all lines, life and annuity. I think we can do that, which would be explosive growth. It would be about a double, a little bit less than a double from 2022. We helped just shy of over 130,000 families. So I do believe we can do that, Joe. And I think that all that would be is people taking the momentum from 2022 and using it to serve their people better. And, some people, you just kind of need to get out of the way because they're a machine and they have it. If they need you, they'll call you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's an amazing place to be, where you're not trying to cook on every burner. You can't always cook on every burner. Like sometimes the freaking spaghetti just has to do its own thing.
Let it do its thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, it's
100%.
gonna sit back there. Sometimes when we're trying to get the ribs ready, we just got to let them do their thing back there, or a stew. And it's like, in some places you're actively flipping and sauteing because it needs it, And when it doesn't need it, you stop, So
Learn to let certain things simmer, baby.
But that plus recognition, plus appreciation, plus the love portion and the support portion where people know they're supported. And I'm just, honestly giving the glory to God for whatever path it took us to get here. It wasn't always easy. There were so many days I wanted to take my head and run it into a 100-story building and go to the ER.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was super willing to do that.
But that's entrepreneurship.
Correct.
But you stuck with it. That's the key.
Amen. The Lord stuck with me. So that's anybody's hope or anybody's ambition, or you can hack any version of that you want from me, because I needed it, And I'm blessed to be able to say we're gonna have the year we're gonna have because of the amazing people that we have, because of the stamina, because of the endurance to run when it seemed pointless. And there were many times I was like, what am I doing? And now when you go through those crazy moments, you're always learning if you want the lessons. And then you just adapt. And again, because the doors are open, amazing people start walking through.
That's killer, man. Dude, I'm appreciative for all the knowledge you just shared. I love you. I look up to you.
Love you too, man.
And I felt like I learned a bunch just listening. So thank you for that.
Dude, it's funny. You say you look up to me. I mean, there's so many things that you bring to the table that really have helped me and have helped so many people around us. And I mean, you were just born and blessed with all these gifts, and you developed them at an early age. So, man, I appreciate you, and thank you for all you do. You've changed the game in many ways by coming up with us and showing a lot of people some things in a very caring, thoughtful, loving way that makes sense. So
all glory to the Lord.
Amen, bro. I appreciate you. And thank you guys for listening. Joe, first man who actually interviewed me in this booth and in our new studio. I appreciate you, bro. Training day. We love you. Continue to subscribe. Continue to share. God bless y'all. Take care. Thanks, Joe.
Strong, dude.